Right now, let's move on to the markets. The BRVM 10 index yesterday closing down about 2.7% to 209 points, while the all-share index, the BRVM composite, closing down about 2% to 190 points. Total value traded on the market was 129 million CFA francs, while the currency currently trading at 503 to the US dollar. Moving on to Ghana, we saw that market, the only gainer in the region yesterday, up about 0.2% to 1,800 points, keeping its year-to-date change at about 50%, while the GSE Financial Stock Index closed at 1,599 points, up just under 0.2%. Year-to-date, that index is up 53%. And moving on to Nigeria, we saw that market down. Again, giving up the recent gains we saw on Friday, the NSE All-Share Index closing at 33,030 points. Let's now cross to Stanbic IBTC, where Idris Toriola is standing by to give us some perspective on that market. Idris, thank you so much for joining us. And it seems a good place to start would be the banking sector. We are gradually wrapping up the earnings season. I think we're only expecting First Bank and UBA to release numbers now. FCMB released yesterday. I don't think it's clearly, given the market's reaction, I like to say they inspected the results and they rejected it because the share price fell. So your thoughts about how this earnings season is winding down and the impact it has for the outlook for the equity market?
Okay, the way we've seen the market on the Q1 was very, very good. We saw the market gain tremendously, and this was on the back of corporate results released by most corporates. We saw GT Bank, Zenith Bank posting good numbers. Most of these corporates posted good numbers, and this really affected markets in a positive light. Yesterday, we saw FCMB's results released into the market. We saw growth in their gross earnings. Their ROE was strong. Their gross earnings grew over 50%. Their ROE also grew over 50%, over 11%. Though we saw the stock close down, losing about over 8% in the market yesterday. This can be attributed to disappointing corporate action by FCMB yesterday. They did a bonus of 1 for 25, and I guess the market expected more than that from them.
Right.
And the market really, we saw sell down in the stock closing at 4 naira 30 kobo yesterday.
All right. So the market rejecting the corporate action. I guess very soon we'll stop talking about that. It will be more a question of inspecting the results themselves. So your thoughts about how this market is likely to trade if the Q2 numbers remain in line with what we've seen from the banks? Do you think this market is likely to trade higher, or is probably going to trade sideways?
Yeah, for some of the Q1 numbers we've seen, I guess it's been ahead of expectation of what the market actually expected, though we've not seen the market react to it. And if this can be sustained into Q2, I guess the way for the market is a positive one, and we expect the market to go up. Because if we see strong earnings by most corporates in the market, this will definitely increase their valuations on the books and definitely translate into it to affect the market positively.
All right, let's talk a bit about other sectors. Insurance is something that I think we'll begin to talk about from next month, when we hopefully will see some results from that space. So your thoughts about how that sector is in the context of the opportunities that we're finding in the stock market today?
Looking at the insurance sector so far, the insurance sector has actually been lagging behind. We've seen most of those insurance stock trading at their par values, and we've actually seen some of them coming together to merge. I guess it's a positive. The merger should be a positive synergy for this insurance firm, and this will boost their numbers, their earnings. And once their earnings is boosted in a positive light, it should pose good positively into the market with the insurance sector picking up.
Do you think the insurance sector is going to pick up though when we see those numbers start coming out?
Yeah, if the restructuring is done properly in the insurance sector and things are put in place to ensure that most of the insurance companies come into profitability, I believe the insurance sector is the next sector to look at.
But that's still a few months down the line, maybe even a year, and to get to understand the impact of the synergies, the mergers. But the results themselves, when they begin to come out, do you think that would lift that sector?
Well, most of the investors we've seen in the market are more long-term players, and if they see a light at the end of the tunnel, I believe they should start taking position now, and this should affect the sector very, very positively.
All right. I know Stanbic IBTC deals a lot with foreign investors, so talk to us about the appetite for Nigerian equities. We've been hearing reports about the locals perhaps dominating demand now. The total demand is now skewed more in favor of locals as opposed to how it was for the past 2 years in favor of the foreign investors. So talk to us about the appetite for Nigerian risk right now.
Yeah, looking at the market this year, we've seen a lot of local participation. We've seen local investors, the retail, and creeping back into the market gradually. And this is a positive one with companies listed on the exchange doing well and posting good numbers. We've seen investors coming back to the market to to invest and take part of the earnings in the market. So it's a good one for the market, having a blend of both foreign and local, and it's kind of being balanced at the moment. So we expect this to help the market as well in the long run.
If you were to compare the foreign investors' demand today compared to, say, about 2 months ago, how has it changed? Has it increased, or is it more or less the same?
I can say more or less the same, because we've seen a stable participation from foreign clients, but the local space has really increased tremendously.